Hey, what's up guys? My name is Cameron Gallagher and today I'm doing a little lighting breakdown on a recent music video shoot I did, and I wanted to show you guys sort of how we lit this, especially because it's a very big space and this is something that I typically don't do. This is a large band. This is a 5-piece band, so it is a bigger band. It's not like a power trio or anything like that. So I kind of want to talk about the location and how we lit this and sort of the few looks we got. Now, this is blown up, so it might look not as good, but I'm going to show you first some of the behind-the-scenes stuff and some of the location things. So, this was the original location that, when we talked with the band, they really liked this giant warehouse they had access to. It looks really grimy and gritty, and it's just kind of cool, and it has a lot of depth, and typically when you're looking for creating something very interesting looking, you want depth. You want it to look interesting and sort of be able to create that both physical depth, but obviously when you're getting a close-up shot you don't want the wall to be right there. I mean unless you're going for that style. So this was the location. So when we came in, and of course one of the big things I noticed first off is going to be tough is going to be how are you going to light this place without getting huge 18Ks or something crazy, because we don't have the budget for that. So the first thing that came to me was when lighting the band, we were going to center up the band and I was going to do kind of a dual light system. Now this is typically what you do for things like fitness lighting, like if you're going to do like a gym. Now I might do hard sources if this was a gym or that kind of nature where it would look a little more dramatic. I opted to go with soft sources. So I actually used on one side, it's the Genaray full moon. It's a soft source, but it still has some direction to it, so it's not like, a giant source. Like I didn't want to use a giant rag or 6x6 diffusion. That would look too soft in my mind. So this kind of helped shape it a little bit. Now on the other side, I had my 300D with my glow Parapop softbox. So you can see that on either end, that was lighting them. This was keying them, and again, it kind of gave this like double-sided key. So we were getting a hot side over here and a hot side over here. Now, in a perfect world, I probably would have put these lights even closer to the sides. I actually did end up moving this one over a little bit more to the left. But I think, in general, I think it worked out pretty good, and it lit them nicely. Yeah, and it looked pretty good. So the next trick is, how do we light this background? So it is obviously a huge building. It's probably like 50... maybe even 60 feet long. It's very, very large. So the problem is, how do you create depth with lighting without needing a ton of different lights? So the first thing I knew is that I wanted to put a light on this back wall, kind of coming from the side a little bit. So I took my Aputure 120T and I threw a Fresnel mount on it and put it in the back. And this is one of those things, obviously, we're going for an industrial look, so it doesn't really matter if you see the lights, just whatever. And I hit that off that back wall. And then I don't have a picture of it, but on the other side, you can kind of see it here. I actually used the Genaray, I think it's called the flex light that they have that's bicolor, which was great because I put those both at tungsten. So they gave this cool tungsten look. And one of the first things that I knew that we were going to want to do is they wanted to shoot this at night, but I knew that we wanted to do the wide shots first because we still had a little bit of sun peeking through these. So we kind of get some free lighting. We got this like blue hue kind of bouncing off the sky, peeking in, and it really just makes everything look really cool because we have this nice color contrast where these guys are being lit by completely white lights. We have these tungsten lights sort of hitting our background, and then we have our nice blue lights in the background. If we wanted to be totally even, we could have put another light here, but whatever. So the great thing is you can see that when we punch into the close-ups that it looks really, really good because we're getting, and what we can do actually, and what I did do, is typically whatever side I was shooting on. So let's say I was shooting, let's do the guitar actually, that's a good example. So this key light, this is kind of what's called far side key. And what I did was I actually dimmed down the light on the right-hand side so that I was shooting more into shadow. So you can see the light is coming this way, and it's shooting more into the shadow. Now, obviously, for the singing shot, this was straight on, but I think it looked good, and you can kind of see how it's like those both soft sides are sort of hitting on the side, but they're nice and soft enough where we get the full shot of his face. Again, if we were going for a more dramatic look, this was like a rap video maybe, maybe I would have did hard sources, so you would have got like this shaft of shadow on his nose and mouth. But we didn't want that. And then same for when we went to these close-ups. The nice thing is now that tungsten light in the background is in our background. And then again, I dimmed down this one on the left-hand side, so the right-hand side is hotter. So we're still getting more of that into shadow, even though it's not full shadow. And then same here. We can kind of see, again, we get that nice backlight back there. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty basic. So 4 lights for this whole thing. Obviously, you could go crazy with something like this, and you could use a ton of different lights. But one of the key things to just think about is which direction are you pointing your lights, and just maximizing the amount of lights you have for the space. Another thing to really try to take away is that side lighting thing. Now, again, this isn't a hardcore version of it, but it's a great if you're lighting a big area, or you're doing something like I said, for like a fitness or sports. Always great to start at by putting either light, both the two evenly, whether they're sources or color temperature. I mean, I guess you could go opposite too, on either side of your subject, pointing in at the subject, and it kind of makes a nice place to start from. And again, with a band like this that's very big, it worked nicely because everyone's getting some light. Everyone looks pretty evenly lit without looking flat, and then we get a lot of nice dynamic stuff going on in the background. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. If you like these lighting breakdowns, be sure to let me know, and I'll make some more for you guys. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later.